Yo, what's up? Today I'll be showing you how to flow. Now before we start, I would like to clear out some misconceptions that we get when we're starting off a flow edit. I'm gonna keep this pretty short, at least I'll try to. So the main misconception that people get is getting confused between flow edit and Jugg edit. I'll give you an example. It should be on the screen. So in a flow edit, you have clips that are moving simultaneously without any pause until they get to a point, right? But in a Jugg edit, it's usually slow paced clips and you have random clips sometimes. There is flow, but there's not as much of a flow as there is in a flow edit. Now, the reason for the yap session is I'm just trying to get out the things that would confuse many beginners. I'm not talking about intermediate people, because if you guys already know how to do flow edits, then that's good. I'm just saying this from a perspective as to if I was starting off a flow edit by scratch, these are the things that I would get confused with. So anyways, now let's continue to the video. Okay, so now that the yap session is over, I will be starting the transitions and explaining how you make them. Now this depends on you. Okay, first make sure that your clips do flow. That was the whole point of that yap session. If you didn't get it, then I'm sorry. Just put it in a summary. So once you've gotten that, here's what my clips look like, just to show you. And you want to have good time remapping as well, because that's also important for a flow edit. Now your transitions depend on your clips. Do not copy me, okay? If you're a beginner, think about your favorite flow editor and you want to think like them. So for example, how would they make this movement? Okay, how would they make movement for this particular clip? So what we're gonna do with transitions is we're gonna enhance the flow movements to flow even more. By that I mean, if this clip is gonna go to the left, which it's not going to the left, but we want to make it go to the left, so it can be paired up with this clip and it looks like it's flowing. We're gonna add a position here, but you can also achieve the same goal by adding one framers. For example, like this, which I will go over after I'm done with the transitions. Okay, so let's get started. So first transition, I feel like, as you can see, the movement is coming in, so a zoom out, you could say. So we're gonna just enhance the zoom here. We're gonna add a scale. This depends on you. I go about 250, 300, and we're gonna put this here. F9. Use this graph. Use whatever graph you want, to be honest. Don't use whatever graph, actually. Use a graph that goes well with your clip movement, that's not too fast and not too slow. So this is the graph. It gets the job done, and there's still movement left, so we're just gonna make it tighter. And I think I'm happy with that. Now this clip, we're gonna make the movement by reading it first. Okay, so how does this clip come in? It comes in from the right to the left, so we're gonna just enhance that movement real quick by increasing the scale first of all, so we don't see any tiles. We're just gonna go about 190. Sounds reasonable. We go 100. We're gonna add the position, Shift X, okay, and then put 2 keyframes. So, what the hell? As you can see, it's coming in from the right, so we're gonna just push it to the right, and we're gonna make a graph. The graph that I'll be using is probably this one. You guys can copy if you want to. And we're just gonna stretch it out a little bit. So I think I'm happy with that. That's actually looking nice. And we're not gonna add another keyframe here because there's not much of movement and it's just a speed up frame. This also shows that you don't really need to make transforms for every single clip. Some clips are better off without them, just leave them be. For example, this clip is going to be a more of a, you could say like a less framey clip. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So we're not gonna make any transitions for these two clips because they're flowing pretty well already. And there's too much movement going on. So if we add even more movement, it's just gonna mess up the edit. Now this here is pretty harsh, as you can see. It does flow, but it's pretty harsh. So we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it by adding a scale. Put one here. Don't want to go to the end, I don't think, because the clip is already long enough. We need to do that. Just go 300. Yeah, go 300 and put a keyframe here. We're gonna make a graph, quick graph like this. As you can see, that's pretty good. I think it's a little bit too fast. Let's slow it down a little bit. Actually, let me select this here and then there. Yeah, that's perfect. Now let's make these two clips flow. These two clips, some clips do not flow at all, so you have to make them flow by adding transforms. So these two clips do not flow. Oh, they do, but not in that good of a way, you'd say. Not good enough. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We're gonna do a zoom in, almost 310. Shift P for position. I'm gonna do X, Y, both of them. And let's go ahead and do the Y first. I wanna kinda make it so it's going to the left. Let's zoom it in a little bit more. There, and then a little bit to the left. I'm gonna put the X here, Y there, and then the scale as well. Maybe just do that. Okay. Let's reverse. Apply. Goes for everyone. I mean every frame. Actually, it's a bit too fast. So we're gonna make it slow. And possibly shift these back. Okay, there we go. So that's looking pretty good. Let's follow the movement with this one. By that. I'm gonna put one here and then zoom it in a little bit. And then we can add shift position again, start and the end. We're gonna go with a left and then a little bit up, because we are coming in from the bottom to the left, and then this clip can follow the movement and end up here. Gonna F9. Let's reverse this, or actually, like, let me make another one here. I'm gonna add this graph. Perfect. That is actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Okay. So this is how the transitions are looking. Very nice, if I do say so myself. Now let's move on to the effects, and I'm also gonna include the warps in this. So let's quickly set them up. We're gonna do a quick warp, which is gonna be a squeeze transition. I mean, a squeeze warp. Okay, so we're gonna do squeeze out. Pretty sure. Let me add motion tiles here because we don't want this. Okay. We're gonna do U to open up the values. -40, we're gonna do 7. Then let's just say maybe like a -6, and then we can go ahead and end it with a 0. F9, easy ease them. A little bit too much. Let's lower the values down. 7, we're gonna do possibly 5 to 4. Now let's add turbulence to this. Anyways, let's add a one framer. This is also the part of an effect. I'm not gonna explain this too much because the video is already way too long, and I have to explain the shakes too. Just put an offset and then add some directional blur, and then do the same thing here. And yeah, just have that nice effect, as you can see. Next effect I'm gonna talk about is a BCC lens blur. Okay, we're just gonna add it like this. I'll just show you. Nice. Is 0 here, 0 here, 8 in the middle, and then we got some exposure. Same thing. If we enable this, it looks like this. Just adds a little touch. It's not that noticeable, but it is there. And then the next one we have is a time warp RGB. I'll put this in the description. It just gives it that follow-up effect, as you can see. Next up, I didn't use any effects here except for hotspots. I'll just show you real quick. This is just hotspots here, as you can see. Now let's move on to the shakes. How I make my shakes is pretty similar to many shake tutorials for flow edits. There's nothing too brand new. If you really want to get an in-depth idea about them, which I will explain in depth, but I feel like there's a better tutorial. Yeah, I'm being honest, okay? I'll link it below in the comments. I think it's Phi Aura or something his name is, but he's made a better tutorial, definitely. Let's shake. But that doesn't mean my tutorial is invalid. Of course not. You know what? Fuck that, bro. My tutorial is way better than this. Anyways, I put 6.9. I usually do this, or I would go lower depending on some transitions. But if it has like a little movement, for example this transition, I would like to add that shakiness to it. So the higher frequency is better, I guess. And then we do 1-3, depends on you how much movement you want. And then let's look at the clip, right? To be honest, I kind of want a circular shake here, so we're gonna increase these values a little bit, and then maybe just a little bit. Okay, Z depends on you. I like it, so I'm gonna put it to 9T. I think 7T is good. Before I move into anything, let me just explain what this does. Frequency is how many times your movement is gonna happen. Okay, so if it's 3 here, this is just an example. The values aren't the same as I'm explaining them, but the values aren't as same as the example I'm giving you guys. Okay. Okay, so if it's 3 here, it's gonna move 3 to 4 times, and if it's 6 here, it's gonna move 6 to 7 times. Amplitude is your how much movement it has to move. Okay, for example, if it's 20 here, it's gonna move from here to here. If it's 30 here, it's gonna move from there to there. You know, the more amplitude you have, the more movement your edit will have. Phase is where your shake starts from, and then Z distance, you know what the Z distance is. It's the scale distance, you could say. I'm not gonna mess with any of this. Seed is just the randomizer for your shake, and we have the X shake, which is like a horizontal shake, and then the Y shake is a vertical shake, and then the Z shake is a scale shake. We got a tilt shake, which is like rotation. So there's a scale, position, and then rotation. You could just say that. We're gonna do the rotation, the tilt shake to 7.70. Yeah, that's good. Again, you don't have to copy my settings. Just do what you like. Do what suits your clips. For a stagnant clip, which it's not stagnant, but you get the point. It's not as moving as the other clips. So we're gonna make a random shake here. But when I get to moving clips, I'll explain the moving shake. We gotta go 0 here. Then we're gonna go F9. Let's make a graph. Kind of like this. See that? That is a phenomenal shake. Like, actually, what? That actually suits the clip, so I'm not gonna be altering the seed of the shake. Now let's quickly copy this and paste it here, but we're gonna alter the shake depending on the clip. And I'll also explain some more things along the way. Okay, so we're gonna put it here, and if we want to go 1 2 3 to 2 frames away from the shake, just to make a continuous movement, you could say. And make sure to graph it. This is how I graph it. Stretch this out and then just pull this a little bit back. Now the movement is coming in from this side, and we don't want this. Okay, so right now the movement is going this way. We want it to go this way, so we're gonna alter the shake, the seed. So let's go ahead and do that. Yes, this is better because now it's coming in from that side. And we're also gonna alter the Y shape because we don't want that much Y movement in this clip. It's usually based on the X movement. Let's encase this here. Okay, maybe 1 frame back. Yeah. Okay, we have to mess with some stuff here actually. Lower this down and yes, that's better. We're not gonna add any shake here because some clips don't even need a shake. So stop spamming shakes on every clip, okay? Next up, we got this clip here. Do I want to? Also, this clip doesn't need a shake too. We're gonna add a shake here actually, because this clip definitely needs a shake. And now let's increase it, and we're gonna do this much. Of course, this looks very trash. Don't want that. Don't want that. Definitely don't want that. Now we're gonna lower down the amplitude a little bit, and seed. Also lower this down a little bit. Let's say this is good. Now we're gonna quickly go over the graph because we don't want this graph. I'd say that's a good shake, but let's go ahead and lower this down as well. And a little bit with the seed, maybe. It's pretty good. Now for the last shake, we want a shake that carries this movement again. You want to pull it back and then come back with the shake. I don't know if you understand that, but I'll just show you. Just in case. As you can see, let's mess with the seed, and as we mess with the seed, well, first increase the Y because I think it has some Y movement. Now mess with this seed. We don't want this. We don't. Actually, this is good. I think. Yeah, that's pretty good. But there is a lot of movement here, so I'll just reduce it. That's perfect. And now you have a nice flow, as you can see. Now we're gonna go over a quick CC tutorial to finish it off. It's gonna be a CC that should go well with all of your flow edits. And not all of your flow edits. Hold on. You might have to adjust some stuff in it. So yeah. Let's add a curve first. We're gonna kind of wanna contrast it a little bit. So I'm gonna do this to add that contrast. You can do it with the brightness too, but I just prefer curves. And then you want to add looks. Go into edit. This is where you're gonna have like a massive screen. If you're a beginner, don't be afraid, just try out everything. It's not that deep. Everything is written right. For example, exposure just increases the exposure of your video. Contrast, you get the point, right? For this one, we're gonna be using edge softness. We're gonna use Colorista, and then we're gonna use LUTs, Mojo, film negative, and optical diffusion, which I will add in the end. So this already looks very dope, but we're gonna adjust it. For the Colorista, I'll just leave it be for now. Edge softness, we don't want this much edge softness, of course. We're just gonna increase this, so it just only gets like a little bit of the edges. I can focus on the character in the middle. Also gives your edit an effect that your quality is better than it actually is, because it's focusing on the character a bit more. Going to the LUT, we're gonna do Polaris, and then we're gonna reduce it to be 50. Film negative, we're gonna go back here and we're gonna put, actually this is good enough, we're just gonna do 50. Again, Mojo, we're gonna do fade 25, and we're gonna put that to 60. Go into your Colorista. We want the shadows to be dark bluish, and then we want the midtones to be a little bit pinkish, not that much, just a little bit. Go to the red, and then the highlights, we're just gonna leave them at white. Next up, we're gonna use our optical diffusion. We're gonna add that here, and then we're gonna put this to 30, 25 to 30, whatever the range is. You know, some clips are too bright, so you just want to have it at lower numbers. And last but not least, we're just gonna add some saturation to it, maybe to let's say 2 is good. This is how it should look like. We're not done though. We're gonna add another effect, which is called noise. Don't panic. It's not gonna ruin your quality. It just adds a nice effect of noise onto your edit, which goes well with this style sometimes. Just don't want to add too much. Maybe 7 to 8 is a sweet spot. Even 6 is also good, actually. Let's do 5.5. Which, as you can see, we got some noise here, and it just goes well with the clip. I mean, it goes well with the style. Of course, you don't want to add this. Before this, you want to topaz it and then add an upscale CC to make your edit even more better, but that's another video, and I'll be explaining how to do the quality settings in another video. So let's just put an upscale here, and then as you can see, it is already looking pretty sharp. Now this is what it looks like without the CC. This is what it looks like with the CC. We can quickly go over some other clips. For example, this one here. This is what it looks without the CC, with the CC, and this is without the CC. And we just add the sharpness. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was kind of like a rundown on how I made my edit, combined with explaining all the effects, shakes, CC, and everything. As for the one framers, I will make a separate video on it because I don't have enough time for this video. This video has already become way too long, I think. So I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.